You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and white sports fans, let's talk about Texas, because today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott protected female sports. And this seems to be a closed book, even though I think there'll probably end up being, some lawsuits and things like that from activists. This is definitely going to trigger the activists and the members of the woke sports media, because today, Greg Abbott signed into law a bill that protects women's sports, and hopefully for good, it shuts the door on transgenders participating in sports. So if you're a female at birth, you must participate in female sports. If you are a male at birth, you must participate in male sports. So let's say, for example, you're male at birth, and then all of a sudden you decide to transition into being a girl. You cannot participate in female sports. And this definitely does protect the integrity, and also the health of biological females, in my opinion. So let's go ahead. Let's get into this, guys. Governor Greg Abbott signs Texas bill restricting transgender participation in school sports. A Texas bill seeking to limit transgender students' access to school sports is now law. Governor Greg Abbott signed a bill on Monday that prohibits students in public schools from competing in sports that don't align with their gender listed at birth. The bill was passed by the state's Republican-led legislature earlier in October and sent to Abbott's desk for signature. The bill passed via a 76-61 margin in the House of Representatives and a 19-12 vote in the Senate. Abbott didn't publicly comment on the law upon signing it. It will take effect in January. Now, this was important that he actually signed this bill into law, because there was already a law in the book saying that you must participate with your biological sex. However, there was a way to get around that by getting a judge to basically sign a waiver that kind of nullified, the law that was already on the book. This one here sets it in stone. Now, it even says here, the bill overrides a previous provision to state law that allows students to obtain a court order to permit them to compete as the gender with which they identify. Republican State Representative Valerie Swanson, a vocal advocate of the bill, argued that the new law's intent is to protect girls in sports. Quote, "We need a statewide level playing field," Swanson said while advocating for the bill on the House floor earlier in October. "It's very important that we, who get elected to be here, protect our girls." I 100% agree with that, because, folks, there is biological differences between males and females. Now, me being a male, I have different bone structure, testosterone levels than females. I mean, to deny the science of that is to be anti-science. Let's just be real about that. But it says here, LGBTQ advocates argue that the law's intent is to discriminate and further stigmatize transgender lifestyles, with which its supporters don't agree. Ricardo Martinez, Chief Executive Officer of Equality Texas, argued against the bill while speaking with the Associated Press last week. Quote, "This cruel and grotesque ban puts a target on the backs of transgender children and adults, erases intersex people, and sends a clear message that transgender and intersex people aren't welcome or safe in Texas," Martinez said. "That is a complete lie. You can identify however you want. But in that case, if you want to participate in sports and you're a male, you have muscle mass and all that, why should you actually be allowed to participate in female sports?" Now, let's say that a school has a female boxing team. Do you actually think it's fair, Ricardo Martinez, to have a biological male with all this bone structure just wake up one day and say, hey, you know what? I feel like a female. I should jump in the ring. And we know that the women would get destroyed. I mean, Rhodes put up a video on the MMA fighter that beat up on a female. He wanted to identify as a male. He got into the octagon and destroyed the female. It is not right. I don't believe that males should be beating up on women at all. That is just wrong. And you know what? It's all fun and games until somebody gets seriously hurt. I'm definitely concerned about the physical nature of this because men are just stronger, faster than females. You can't deny that. Also, I like to see the integrity of female records being kept by females. But you know what? These wokey woke people out there don't care about that. It's all about an agenda. It says Republican-led legislators in more than 20 states have proposed bills limiting transgender participation in public schools. Texas joins Tennessee, Mississippi, Florida, Arkansas, and Montana in passing such bills into law. Critics characterize the bills as solutions without problems and argue that legislators can't point to instances in their states where girls have experienced unfair treatment or even competed against transgender athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, there's been documented evidence on records where you actually had biological males getting on the track team because they identified as females and they went over there and broke every single record. This is completely unfair to females, and I stand behind this law. I 100% stand behind this law. But the advocates out there, the activists, they don't care about that. It's all about pushing a narrative. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that this should actually go into law effective immediately. But the way politics works, is something about January. And, maybe it's just the time period, for the legal process to play out. I'm not sure about that. But I agree with this law. I really do agree with this law. Texas protects female sports. But to the activists out there, they don't care about that. They don't care about science. Even though, they say we believe in science. No, they believe in feelings, not science. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.